Let's make more noise today if this group. All my friends know each.
You're always calling more people to your home parties, aren't you? Please don't do that, seriously.
Wait a minute. If you invite anyone else, there's no place to sleep.
This room is a large apartment, suitable for up to 4 people. But as I expected, if there were more people, there would be no room for everyone to sleep together.
Then why don't you sleep in the tent?
My name is Naomi. I am a 27-year-old housewife who has been married to my husband, Kerry, for years. I met my husband at work. He was 2 years older than me. My boss, sociable and popular among everyone, was a rather reserved type of person. So I was surprised when he asked me dinner. However, as we went out on several started dating, I learned that he was a gentlemanly, and more, he was surprisingly quiet and calm. She was crazy about him. I also found out that he was an experienced, family-oriented person.
Let's have a date at my place today, he said.
He invited me to his house and served homemade meals, which he cooked each quickly. All of them were delicious.
I had an image of Ken as a flashier, always dining at a restaurant with view or something.
No, I have a simple personality. I'm just pretending to be an easygoing guy so that my co-workers can rely on me.
I see. I was very happy to find out that you have a similar personality.
Then we continued dating and got married. All my other colleagues were surprised by an unexpected couple we were. I resigned from the company upon our marriage. My husband asked me to stay home. It's my work. After that, I'm sure I would support my husband and did my best at chores. I made lunch boxes for him every day and also put a lot of effort into making elaborate dinners. My husband was happy to have dinner, saying it was delicious, but he had more drinking parties than he imagined. Whenever my husband calls me to tell me he's sorry, and he doesn't need to feel sad because I'm working hard to prepare dinner. I knew that he was popular and often drinking with his coworkers, so I thought it would happen, but I didn't expect him to go out at the same pace after we got married. I couldn't stand it any longer and complained to my husband.
Well, sometimes I want to spend the weekend with you too.
My husband always drinks late on Friday nights, returning home after midnight, and then sleeps all day Saturday because he's hungover. On Sundays, he's either out with friends getting ready for work, so we hardly have any time together as a couple. When I complained like that, my husband awkwardly said that you are right about the suggestion.
Maybe from now on, I'll invite colleagues over to our house for a home-cooked meal. That way we could save money too.
No, that's not what I mean. But my husband seemed to have convinced himself and said happily,
It would let Naomi get along with me and you could see your former colleague again.
I really wanted some time together, was still better than going out for and not seeing his face. After all, almost every weekend, I brought his friends and colleagues our house for drinks.
Naomi, you're out of beer. Can you some dessert or something? I want to have a parfait.
My husband's friends and ex-colleagues ask me for anything they want with hesitation. They treated me like a waiter in a dining bar. Some of my husband's friends were the most selfish and annoying. They never helped me. The riotous drinking parties at our every weekend were really hard to purr drinks and snacks. So I was truly at my physical limit time to rest. But my husband did not notice my core all. On the contrary, he invites people to our house, saying that everyone is welcome without worrying about it. And they stay as they want without and make noise until late at night. Moreover, they get up around noon or later, making me serve them breakfast, saying they need something to eat even if they're hungover. So My weekend ends up with no rest because of this. Even when I'm around with my husband, busy cooking and cleaning up, and he's talking all the time with the people invited to the house, he never come over to me or look at me. But if I complained about this situation, he would get angry and go out for a drink instead of staying at home. I was wondering what to do when that I was pregnant. When I told my husband, he was deep and happy.
I'm going to be a father too, so let's celebrate it with everyone.
No, I don't think so. Without even talking about it to me, husband started announcing it all at social media. Then he said that everyone was going to congratulate me, but he made a surprising comment.
We'll invite them over for the weekend to celebrate.
What?
My husband said that he invited all his friends immediately on the weekend. All of his friends at our house, and began to make more than as usual. I accepted it anyway, thinking that celebrating a baby's birthday is always special, even if they are not yet born. It was okay to have them at least, or husband's friends came our home. I thought it was time for them to sit. It's hard to prepare for a big party. Your health condition is not stable. Smell is too much for a pregnant one. Moreover, some of them were smokers who smoked normally without caring about their health. Even though they went out to smoke balcony, it smelled like cigarettes came back to the room. I wondered if I could safely be such an environment. I felt I was in danger. Oh, I decided to my husband about it.
I'm happy to celebrate with you honestly. It's time for you to stop your friends to our house.
Why not?
Because I'm pregnant. I need to rest. If I have to prepare for a dinner party every week, it will be too much. I'm not feeling well, and the smell of alcohol and cigarettes is getting...
What the heck? I started to invite because you asked for it.
I asked you to cut down on drinking so we could spend more time together. I didn't ask you to invite them over home.
I did it for you, but you are against it.
It's not like that. But if you're going to drink at our house, stop.
Screw you. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? I've already asked them out for dinner at home this week. I can't say no to this one, so I own drinking party.
What? No?
It's the last time we're going to have a so it has to be grand. Prepare an exquisite meal.
My husband wouldn't listen to me once he made up his mind, so I decided to accept it because it would be the end of the argument. I prepared a large amount of food at it, so it would be ready to eat when husbands arrive. I also ordered the beer online and put them all in the fridge to keep and cold when the husband arrived. This way, I wouldn't have to be involved every step of the process. When the husbands arrived, I took the living room and asked them to take a seat and serve them beer. Then the party started, so I went to the bedroom and lay down on the bed to get away from the noise and smell. I closed my eyes, hoping the pain would go away while I was sleeping, but within minutes I heard my husband calling,
Hey Naomi, where are you? Bring me a beer and get to work.
I dared to pretend not to hear him staying in the bedroom. Then I heard footsteps loudly and the door opened. I looked at the door in surprise.
What the hell are you doing here?
It was my husband who opened the door. Heart almost stopped. What if it was someone else? I would never want anyone other than my husband in my bedroom. My husband stared at me with a scare.
I put the beer in the fridge before you can get pretty cold one. I'm sick from the pregnancy, so give break.
Even when I told like that, my husband remained with a scared look.
Don't be silly. I told you I would time. You're going to do such a tough job. You're my wife, and it's your duty to entertain everyone. Pregnancy is not a disease. Take car housework.
What's the hell? I fell out of love with him at once. I guess he wants to show off in front of friends and colleagues that his wife is controlled. I also wondered the people who came, they must be insane. I had no choice but to leave the bedroom and go to the living room where they were having a riotous drinking party.
You finally came. Hurry up and get me a beer.
I want them to go home soon, but I will stay over here anyway.
Madam, you can't do that. You need to do the housework as you is working hard. There are people pregnant and still do their chores.
You guys don't understand how hard be a pregnant woman. If you think so, be a single forever. As I was pretending to care about them, my husband made me outrageous.
We're going to make more noise today. Everyone here is my friends who know others.
He's always calling more people to the party. Please don't do that.
Wait a minute. If you invite more people, there will be a place to sleep.
This room is a large apartment, so available to stay a certain number. But as I expected, if there were more, there would be no room for everyone together. Then my husband made an unacceptable statement.
Why don't you sleep in the kitchen? If you do so, there will be room for person in the bedroom.
What are you talking about? I'm prep? What if I sleep in the kitchen and baby?
It would be okay if that happened, or you are ruining this fun time.
How can you help me with this? Why did I marry a man?
Madam, understand the situation.
Oh, yes. Everyone is having a good time. Friends attract like-minded people. Like my husband. These people are driving me crazy and I can't take it anymore. If my husband calls someone, I'll call a helper too. I thought it would be just one person, but it turned out to be 3 people. So we ran out of food. My husband ordered me to cook more soon as possible.
I said, I can't. We're running out of time.
When I argued against him, he said,
So, go buy some right now.
he accused me of not knowing how to. I got up and went to answer the doorbell. Did my husband still call someone?
Did I call someone yet? Could it be surprise?
He went to the entrance and opened the with a grin on his face.
Why? Dad, Mum, and even Sis. Why are you?
The helpers I called were my in-laws.
Ken, what are you doing?
How come are you having a drinking party every week at home with Naomi, who is pregnant?
What's more, you said that pregnancy diseases, and then you kept her working. What were you thinking?
My parents-in-law and sister-in-law accused my husband at once.
No, it's not.
When my in-laws entered the living room, my husband's colleagues and friends looked surprised.
What's happening? There are too many people. It's like a big family reunion.
It's not like Naomi was always the one responsible for cooking and cleaning up after a party with this many people.
Did anyone help her?
My husband is silent, and he can't say anything. My husband's colleagues and friends often give him a blank look with their eyes. Then my sister-in-law got angry.
I've never met you before, but you seem like a great person. Are any of you married yet? Do you have children? Do you know how hard it is to be It's 100 times harder than you think. It's not just the moment when you give birth to a child, but it's also when you have a large belly and you feel sick and it lasts so long that you can't even smell the food you used to love. And yet, there's no way you're smoking. You make her serve foods.
Then my father-in-law opened his mouth, my sister-in-law.
Perhaps you all came here because Mai called you, but could you please leave? I have something important to talk. As my daughter said earlier, I think people would be hesitant to visit with a pregnant woman and make it into a drinking party on. A normal people with common sense such a thing.
My father-in-law said this quietly. My husband's co-workers and friends are getting ready to leave. They look very uncomfortable and have already left the house. After all, it was just my husband's in-laws and me.
Ken, explain to me what's going on.
Why can't you do such a terrible thing? Don't you care about Naomi? What you are doing would kill your...
If you were responsible for the lost child, would you be able to take responsibility for it? Why don't you think about something than yourself? You are always flirtatious and self-centered like a child. You cannot do that anymore.
My father-in-law and sister-in-law's husband. My husband hasn't wanted to go to his parents' house since the beginning of our marriage. Even if we showed up at a new year, just say hello. Because he was busy not stay over or even have dinner WWT. I knew that my husband's parents were nice people, so I secretly contacted them on my own since my husband didn't want to see them. So I'm good friends with my in-laws, and I think I get along with them better than my husband does. Witnessing the relentless attacks on my husband by his family this time, I now understand why my husband doesn't want to go back to his parents' house. He must have always been lectured one. After that, my husband was scolded family for about 3 hours, so he depressed. Seeing him like that, I felt refreshed.
You better hurry up and apologize to everything you've done.
That's right. You must show your app.
My husband apologized to me seriously.
Oh, Naomi, I'm so sorry for all the trouble I caused you by being so selfish. Please forgive me.
Well, Naomi, do you forgive this jerk?
My sister-in-law asks me that way. I smiled at her and said,
No, I can't do it anymore. I won't forgive him.
when I said that, my husband looked very sad.
Oh no, I've already apologized so much to you.
Because after all you want is convenient wife who does chores and to everything you say. Then you don't need me. I want to marry a man who will love, take good care of me. So please divorce me.
Divorce. My husband became impatient with the process of divorce. He rebelled against it, but his family stopped him.
If Naomi says she can't do it anymore, give it up.
I'm sorry, Naomi. We'll take care of this idiot. Spend your time here without worries. If you don't feel comfortable here, go back to your parents' house. We will be responsible for taking you there.
Thank you very much. Thus, thanks to my in-laws, I was able to defeat my husband and furthermore did him.
I heard that my husband had been killed in an accident. He was indeed not able to win 31, so he signed the divorce papers. He will pay me child support. I had my parents-in-law and sister help me pack my belongings and return to my parents' house. Even then, my in-laws politely apologized to my parents, and I apologized for them. After that, my ex-husband was seen as an unfortunate man who had been abandoned by his family and his wife, and it seemed as though everyone around him disappeared all of a sudden. And I have someone at my ex-husband's workplace who was good. Friends with not the colleagues that my ex-husband brought with him. The person told me that all of my ex-husband's colleagues were having affairs on the side for no good reason, or were being punished and fired by company for garbage reasons and make things worse. They had been fired from their jobs, scandalous reasons. It was the moment I realized we were attracted to each other because of our similarities. I will take my ex-husband and those connected to him as an example of how not to behave and live my life with integrity. Later, I gave birth to a baby girl problem. At that time, I invited all my exes except my ex-husband to meet my daughter at my parents' house. I wonder how lousy person grew up at such wonderful people. I will cherish my relation with and most of all, I will work hard to daughter my treasured daughter.
How dare her husband to say that the wife to sleep in the kitchen?
I'm so glad her ex-in-laws are insane. Naomi, I hope you will do your best as a single mother from now on. I hope her future life is happy. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.